My name is Julia Mader. I'm an internal medicine physician from Graz, Austria. This is my hometown. I spent nearly my entire life here, and it always feels good to come back home. So it's really the city where my heart is. I grew up here, I went to school here, I went to university here, and it has a very nice size. Also, people are very kind people, they're very open-minded, and lots of people who come and visit Graz say that it has kind of a southern flair. Initially, I wanted, because I loved them so much, become a veterinarian. But as I wanted to stay within my area in Graz, and I did not want to travel either to Vienna or to Innsbruck to study, I kind of took the second best choice, which was then medicine for humans. And so that's how I ended up in medicine, actually. I work in the field of diabetes since 2005. This is where I started off with my doctoral thesis. It was kind of a coincidence, one has to say, because my dad was also working in the hospital, so he's a pharmacist, and he knew my boss, Professor Pieper, and they started to talk, and my dad said, so what should she do to write the thesis? And then, so he said, oh, she can write the thesis with me, and so that's how it kind of happened. What is typical here in universities across Austria, that you always have kind of a combined work situation. So you do have clinical tasks, you do have students to teach, and you do have research, and you should dedicate your time to all three of them. Of course, sometimes the one suffers more than the other, and you do not have kind of the same amount of time available for everything. Personally, I think I'm better in doing research than in teaching students. I think you need to follow your heart. So what you like, you will be good at. You have to balance your interests. So I think you should make up your mind quite early if you want to become a researcher, or if you want to mainly stick with routine patient care, which is also good. I mean, that's an amazing job and a lot of responsibility. It's good to be renowned in the field in a sense that people know who you are when you talk to them, but it's not kind of my main goal to become the head of department, head of university or anything, so that would not be my main career focus. My career focus would be more in research. I love working with people. I hope we can make the world a better place for both patients and also caretakers, and it's always kind of a challenge to find out the best possible care for people. My research focus is diabetes technology. I really find that it's helping people living with diabetes to get better care. So what we have seen in the last couple of years is that by doing research, we really manage to improve the life situation of the people living with diabetes. So whenever you kind of receive an email and say, oh yeah, thank you, that decision really helped me to make my nights better because I do not fear hypoglycemia. I'm fitter in the morning because I did not have to wake up every other hour to check my blood glucose. This is something that gives you back a lot. The most challenging thing in my work is time management. So because you have so many people asking something of you, you have so many tasks to fulfill, you really have to prioritize. Sometimes it's difficult to find enough time to do what you actually really want to do. Then you have, of course, unexpected situations that can arise with or without corona, someone falling sick and you have to jump in and take over this job. And of course, then there are regulatory issues. For example, when you think a study is accepted in a certain period of time and then ethics committee or health authorities come back to you and say, no, you have to bring in this document or have to change this in the protocol. And this, of course, can throw your timelines completely out of the initial plan. This is, of course, a big challenge. What keeps me motivated is the feedback of colleagues. It's also an honor if you are invited, for example, to conferences to deliver a talk. This year I'm going to talk about hospital diabetes care. Really looking forward to that, especially because it's a very, very famous partner that I have in that talk. It's Professor Graz and she always was kind of my idol because that was where I started off in 2005 in that field when I came to work in diabetes care, and it was always her studies that were cited. In my private life, I like to travel, so I like to try new tastes. This is something that has developed probably during traveling, because there you had the chance to see something new and kind of get the tastes of the world in a sense. I really like trying new restaurants when they open. I also prefer those small tasting menus because then you can get kind of a glimpse into what different types of foods they have. It doesn't have to be always kind of high-end restaurants. It's sometimes also interesting to try local, down-to-earth restaurants. I traveled with different colleagues from different areas, and some of them also were foodies, so kind of with them together I developed that passion. And so it's really nice to go out dining together, and if you are kind of a good team and you do not only work good together but you also can spend your time off among good colleagues, it's also fun. I like to read modern literature, but also some of the classics. Also, I do like crime stories, so if you want to take some time off. And I'm a very big fan of cartoons. So one of my two favorites are Calvin and Hobbes and Asterix. I would wish for kind of a better understanding amongst the professions, if some of the miscommunication could be eradicated. In terms of disease, I would really wish that we had better cure for several diseases, so there's a very long list of that. And in terms of universities, I would wish that the freedom that we currently have in terms of what we want to research on is maintained, so that research kind of can remain free.